أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Allah said, "What stopped you from prostrating when I ordered you?" He said, "I am better than him. You have created me of fire and created him of clay." Commentary. The event relating to Sayyidina Adam alayhi salam and the shaitan has appeared earlier in section 4 of Surah Al-Baqarah, Maariful Quran, English translation under verse 34. Some aspects of this subject have been covered in comments given there. Answers to some others are being given here. How long was the respite given to Iblis? It was exactly at the time Iblis was under the wrath of Allah. He made a prayer, a strange prayer indeed. He asked for a lease of life until the day of resurrection. The words in which Allah Ta'ala answered the prayer as they appear in this verse are no more than respite is given to you. From these words, given the nature of the Quran and the answer, it can be understood that this respite was given until the resurrection as asked by him. But what is not stated in this verse clearly is whether the giving of respite mentioned here is until the resurrection as asked by Iblis or is for some other duration. But in another verse, the words "till the day of the appointed time" appear at this place, which on the surface seems to suggest that the respite till the day of Qiyamah, as asked by Iblis, was not given. Instead given to him was a respite till a particular time which is preserved in divine knowledge. The outcome is that the prayer of Iblis was answered, though not completely. He was given respite till a particular time and not till the day of resurrection or Qiyamah. Reported in Tafsir Ibn Jarir is a narration from Suradi which supports this view. The exact words of the report are, Allah Ta'ala did not give respite to Iblis till the day of resurrection. He has given him respite till the time of which is appointed, and that is the day when the horn will be blown for the first time, and whoever is there in the heavens or the earth shall be stunned and dead. In summation, we can say that the shaitan had actually asked for respite in his prayer till the time when the second horn will be blown and the dead will be resurrected. This is what is called Yawm al-Ba'ath. If this prayer was answered as asked, it would have meant that Iblis was to be alive as based on his prayer, while the facts on the ground would have been different. That would be a time when nothing will be alive except the one being of the eternally alive and the self-sustaining Hayy and Qayyum. That would be the time when the great promise of all that is on it will perish, and to remain there shall be the face of your Lord, full of majesty, bounty, and honor, will stand immensely manifested. On that basis, Iblis was not to live to see that time, and therefore his one prayer for respite till the Yawm al-Ba'ath was not granted, instead of which the time of the respite was changed to Yawma yunfakhu fi as-sur, till the day blown is the horn, and granted at that the effect would be that death shall be the order of the day for the whole creation. Iblis will have his death as well. When all others are resurrected, he too shall stand resurrected. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. This is where we left off last time. Here. These details remove the possible doubt that could arise from the verse, all that is on it will perish, referred immediately above, especially in relation with this prayer. The apparent contradiction between the two thus stands resolved. The substance of this investigation is that Yawm al-Ba'ath and Yawm al-Ma'lum are two separate days. The Iblis had asked for respite till the Yawm al-Ba'ath. This was not granted wholly. Instead of that, a change was made and respite was given till the Yawm al-Ma'lum. Hadrat Maulana Ashraf Ali Thanavi in Bayan al-Quran has preferred the view that these two are really two separate days. In fact, from the time of the blowing of the first horn up to the entry into paradise or hell, it will be a long day with different things happening at different times in it. Based on these different happenings, that day could be attributed to every event which takes place therein. For instance, it could be called the day of the blowing of the horn, and the day of perishing, as well as the day of resurrection, and the day of recompense. This helps resolve all doubts and difficulties. Can the prayer of a disbeliever be acceptable? The question comes from the verse, and the prayers of disbelievers is but in vain. It is not usually taken that the prayer made by a disbeliever is not answered, but from this event concerning Iblis and the statement in the verse, this difficulty becomes obvious. The answer is that in this mortal world, even the prayer of a disbeliever can be answered. So much so that even the prayer of the foremost disbeliever, Iblis, was answered. But in the hereafter, the prayer of a disbeliever will not be answered. The verse quoted above relates to the hereafter, Akhirah. It has nothing to do with this mortal world. The event of Adam and Iblis, the rationale of different words. This story appears in the Holy Quran at several places. The words used in relevant questions and answers differ everywhere, though the event is the same. The reason is that the subject remains the same when the main event is described. That the words remain exactly the same everywhere is not necessary. A narration could be based on meaning too. If the unity of subject and sense exists, variation in words do not deserve consideration. What made Iblis speak the way he did before Allah? The place where Iblis dared to speak was in the most august conceivable presence of the Master of all honor, where the awe and majesty of the occasion would not allow even angels and prophets and messengers to breathe. How did he do that? Ulama say that this was a somber and highly cutting manifestation of the divine wrath, that because of the rejection of Iblis, his view was so obstructed hijab, that he became blind to the grandeur and awe of Allah Ta'ala, and irreverence came down to settle on him all over. The assault of Shaitan is multi-dimensional, not simply force-sided. In the present verse, Iblis is said to have identified four sides from which he planned to mislead the children of Adam alayhi salam. That is, the front and the rear, the right and the left. But the purpose here is not to set up any limits. Instead, the sense is that this will be from all sides and all directions. Therefore, the probability of his leading people astray from above and beneath the feet does not contradict it. Similarly, the saying of the hadith that Shaitan can enter the human body and move through the arteries and veins of blood and take command of the whole body is also not contradictory to this. In the cited verses 13, 18, the Shaitan has been commanded to leave the heavens twice. First when it was said, "So go, you are of the low," and then when it was said, "Get out of here, condemned." Here the first saying is perhaps a proposal, while the other is its implementation. Abridged from Bayan al-Quran.